So, hi Harpreet, how are you?
I'm good, Sabi. How are you?
I'm very good too. Thank you so much. So, Harpreet, tell us which city you are from and which country are you heading to now?
So, I am currently based in Pune and I'm heading to Heidelberg in Germany.
Great. And for which course?
I have taken up sustainability management, a master's of science in sustainability management at Schiller International University in Heidelberg.
Amazing. So, what made you choose Germany for higher studies?
So, Germany wasn't my first preference, to be honest. It was because of the language requirement that Germany usually has. But then when I came across and I got the offer letter for Schiller, I understood that not all universities require or teach only in the German language. And another thing was that Schiller, being an international university, it has an accreditation from USA as well, plus the local Baden-Württemberg EVLAG accreditation as well. So this was one of the things that I selected Germany then.
Amazing. And what, before approaching KS Global, what were your biggest concerns or challenges regarding visa, university selection, documentation, SOP, language, of course, you said, but the SOP and, application, the university selection also.
So before I selected KS Global, I already had a visa rejection from Canada. So I was already quite demotivated that, probably I wouldn't get another good university, or the visa would not get through for another country as well, because the immigration officers will already see a rejection.
Hmm.
But then when I got a consultancy that as good as KS Global, sorry, just when
Yeah.
I saw this consultancy as good as KS Global, they were quite positive about my profile, and they said that one rejection does not really decide your future. So that's where I kind of started back to reapply for different universities. Again, it wasn't me who was applying; it was my consultant Jayesh who was applying for it, and I got like multiple offers. But the good thing is, I did not have to pay a single penny for even the admission fees that they would for the application fees.
Hmm. Right. And how did you come to know about KS Global?
So I got to know about KS Global through Instagram, because there was one day that I was just scrolling through, and being a very active person on socials, KS Global had the advertisements going on, and it was one day that it just popped up on my story.
Great. And what made you trust KS Global with your admission process?
I was very skeptical about KS Global in the beginning, like because I had spoken to multiple educational consultancies, and I would not like to name them, but then there are certain that do charge you a fee, if not in the first shot, but eventually once your visa is approved, you owe them a certain amount. And KS Global from day one made me feel very comfortable. From the day that I started my consulting with Jesh, and the first thing I knew was that they were not charging me anything. So that was one of the greenest flags, I would say, because anyone who starts asking for money in the beginning itself is quite questionable.
Hmm.
So that was one thing that I knew that I could trust the consultancy.
Okay. And which part of our support made the biggest difference for you? And was it the university selection or the application, the documentation? Which part of it, the admission process made it really? Uh,
I think for
yeah.
me, the biggest part that helped me was the application process for universities. I am a very impatient person, so I do not have the patience of applying to multiple universities. Plus, it's not an easy job, I would say, because it's not just a one-page application. There are so many documents that you have to attach, and you have to do it over and over for so many universities. So me being a person who is very impatient, I think I got a great consultancy that helped me with the documentation, and also they didn't just apply for what I asked them to apply, or just the course that I was looking for. They in fact guided me to different courses that could help me. For example, my initial option was MBA from my side.
Hmm.
But then my consultant Jayesh, he told me that there could be more options. In fact,
Right.
an executive MBA could be an option because I do hold 10 years of
Work experience.
hospitality experience, yes.
Hmm.
And other than that, if not, I could have done project management, but I did select sustainability because that's also something that's growing in the industry these days
Right.
and for the future, in fact.
Hmm.
So it was these things that, the guidance, the career guidance that I got from KS Global.
Hmm.
And my favorite part was the documentation, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. And was there any moment during the process when you felt stressed? How did our team help you overcome it?
Yes, there were times that I was a little stressed. So there was a time when I kept going back and forth in my process of deciding when I wanted to move to Germany or to Canada. So that was one of the times when I even thought that I should stop the process in between, in fact. But then they did help me understand that, how an education would help me in the future. Not only that, there was also a time where I couldn't transfer my fees through Flywire, not the fees, but the blocked account amount through Flywire because I wasn't a resident still in India, and it was through the RBI rules and laws that I couldn't send such a big amount out of India from my account. So there were times when Jayesh tried to pull all his strings, and he got contacts of people from Flywire, Mumbai, or also from Fintiba and Expatrio to make things work out. But then it was not in hands of KS Global or my hands that I could do things. It was completely the bank laws. So
Hmm.
I think there were times that I was quite stressed, but KS Global did help me to fix things. Again, it was not fixed because of different reasons, but yeah, they did not leave me in my hard times, I would say. They always stood by.
Okay. And if you had to describe your experience with KS Global in 3 words, what would they be?
The first word that immediately comes to my mind is trustworthy, because as I told you that they don't ask you a single penny, which is one of the major green flags that, they are helping you, but they're not taking anything from you directly. And that's one thing. The second thing is patience, because I am a very impatient person, and I started to get very pushy in between the process when I knew things were not happening, not just because of the consultancy or the university or because of me. It was the bank that was making things difficult for all of us.
Yeah.
So there was a time that I got very impatient, and that was the time when I spoke to you as well, in fact.
Yeah.
So you both were very kind to me, and you guys kind of really stood by my temper, I would say. So kindness is the third thing that I would say KS Global really holds. So it's trustworthy, patience, and kindness.
Thank you so much. And how did you feel when you received your German university admission and visa approval?
When I received my Germany admission, I think I still kept it very low key because I was holding a visa rejection from Canada. I had an admission from Arden, Berlin, which I couldn't make in the first place because of the transactions. And then when I received Schiller or the other universities, I still was very low key about it. But the moment I received my visa was the turning point, I would say. I was like, okay, finally it's happening.
It's happening,
And
yeah.
yes. So that's the time I realized, okay, this is it. Like, I am going for my education. I wasn't any more demotivated or thought negatively about things. So
Hmm.
that was the happiest moment of me for me that I received the visa.
And who was the first person you called after receiving the good news?
The first person that I called, you won't believe, was in fact your employee. It's your consultant, Jayesh,
Yeah.
because I couldn't think of anybody else at that moment. I did not
Yeah.
even break the news to my parents or to my family. Jayesh was the first person around 7:30 in the evening or 8 that I called him and I said, Jayesh, I have the visa. It's here in my hands. So yeah, that was he was the first person that I called up and I told. Yes.
Amazing. And would you recommend KS Global to students planning to study abroad, and why?
I would definitely recommend KS Global to students who are willing to study abroad. First of all, you will find multiple study abroad consultancies in India, but there are quite a few that would work with so much of patience, guide you through each step. Um, Also, the good thing is that here, I know I don't like writing SOPs, but then Jayesh pushed me enough saying that no, you have to write it by yourself because you are going to go for the interview for the visa and you must know what's written in that.
Right.
So there are times when also the consultancy is going to push you, but in a good way that you are going to achieve what you want. So
Hmm.
everything is being helped to you with, but it's not that everything is going to be fed to you.
Yeah.
So this is one thing, like they are all very patient, very mature in the way they are handling things, and they know exactly what the consultancy is doing.
And what would you like to say to students who are still confused about studying in Germany? Because I know you've studied in UK yourself, you've worked in UAE, and you've had a substantial part of your life spent internationally. So, what would be your suggestion to students?
So I think that studying internationally has its own perks. First of all, you get yourself so involved in different cultures, which is not possible when you're studying in India. And there are countries that are known for education, for example, Germany, Ireland as well, Canada as well, was known majorly for its educational part. But again, you are there are the way that you also exams are conducted, in fact.
Hmm.
From school until my diploma, I would say I was studying in India and I read through the books, I wrote my exams. But when you're studying internationally, you have to do so much more. It's not just bookish knowledge that you're gaining, but there is also a lot of research that you put in by yourself. You have to prepare presentations, you have to make sure it's not copy and pasted, it has to be
Hmm.
paraphrased. So you're working on building structures of your sentences, for example, and you are presenting the presentations as well. So it would also help in getting out the stage fear of people who are not very extrovert, I would say. And and studying in an international setup would also help you for your future when you want to work in countries that are open to multiple nationalities or MNCs. So
Hmm.
it is great to study internationally, I would say. It's You learn so much, and not just professionally or in terms of education, but also personally, you grow a lot as a person. Yeah.
Okay. So, Harpreet, tell me what is the involvement of United Nations with the course that you are heading for?
So I'm heading for MSc in Sustainability Management through Schiller International University in Heidelberg. It not only holds a US accreditation and EVLAC Baden-Württemberg, but also has collaboration with the UNITAR, which is the United Nations Training and Research Institute. So uh, this is something great because having this certification would be excellent on anyone's CV, or finding a job for in the future as well. And Unitar has so many programs that it's already running for climate change, for globally, so many things are happening already with Unitar. It's something that is not only based in one country but for so many different nations. So it would be a great value to have on my CV as well.
Amazing. Harpreet, tell
Yes.
us about the scholarship that KS Global could bag for you.
Uh, that was actually an excellent scholarship that KS Global backed for me. It was about 50%, not about, in fact, a flat 50% scholarship. So the fees was somewhere around 16,500 euros. But after the scholarship, I paid 8,250. So it was a great offer, something that was fitting my budget. And I think it's great because I'm getting a US degree plus an EVLAG certification and a UNITAR collaboration with it. So it was a great value that added to me.
And finally, is there anything you'd like to say to the KS Global team?
Yeah. I think I would like to say a very big thank you because I know how hard I was on the team at a certain point. It's not so me coming from hospitality, or from where people are sometimes they just go out and beyond helping people, we expect the same from others at times.
Yeah.
So there were times that I was like, why is this not happening, why is this not happening? But they were so patient with me that they made me understand why it wasn't happening at a certain point. And yes, it is true that things happen when the time is correct. So I do want to say a very big thank you from my heart to KS Global team because they are very patient with me. And there were times that I was losing a lot of motivation. I had sleepless nights thinking that, oh, I have a visa rejection. Oh, Germany, I don't know the language. Uh, you know, plus public university or a private university, how would things go? But I think things will just fall in place for anyone who wants to begin things with KS Global. Yes.
Thank you so much. On that note, we come to the end of our review with you. But I would like to add a couple of lines. We have been connected since almost a year now, and each time there is there is an achievement or there is a hurdle that we have to come across together. It also brings our heartbeats up and down with that. So we get so attached, though I might have just spoken to you a couple of times, but I am very up to date with whatever is happening with each student. So I usually get a voice recording of all the calls and I listen to them and I hear that out, and then I get back to Jayesh and other consultants or other counselors that I have, and we discuss it, and then we take it forward from there. Of course, Jayesh is an asset, and I know he deals with the students just as warmly as I would deal with them, and I really appreciate that about him, and I appreciate you taking out your time and giving us this review. It really means a lot, and all of us, the whole team of KS Global, wishes you best of luck, and I hope to meet you next year in Germany when I come there for my vacations.
Thank you very much. I look forward to meeting you. Hopefully, you will be there next year.